Hello, I'm Corey, and welcome to today's episode of Flips, Flaps, and Folds. This fold today is one that I did in my scrapbook idea book, and I knew I was going to revisit it for Flips, Flaps, and Folds simply because that's what it is. And the idea is you just take a piece of scrap paper, a length of cardstock, and you fold it until you've got some pockets. Like for this particular one, the one in my scrapbook idea book, I just kept folding it on itself until I ran out of space. And so it allowed me to have a tuck spot or a pocket in the back, and then a pocket here on this side, a pocket, a little pocket or tuck spot here, and then a little space here. And so super handy, kind of fun, and a great way to use up some of those strip scraps that we have left over when we've trimmed down the pages for our junk journal. So that's where this one came from. And in this book, this is the one I ended up doing yesterday for episode 4. But I had wanted to cover up, I had intended to share a page covering up some of the glue that came through on my page. And a way to do that without, I obviously could put strips or borders or something. But I wanted to do this same concept on this page. But instead of having multiple folds like the other one did, this one just had a simple 2 folds or 2 creases. I'm using the 2 papers together. We're just assuming they're one. And then I folded it over and then folded it back on itself. That's really that simple. And because I wanted it to kind of coordinate with the page next to it, I inserted a little strip on the top, a collage strip that I put on the top. And this particular one will have 3 pockets or 3 places to tuck things. Well, this one will have 2 because I glued it all the way up to the top. But if I were putting it on the page, I would have 1, 2, and then 3 or 3. I can go back here on this side either way. So just 2 simple creases give you 1, 2, 3 different places to tuck. And here, because I made it the length of the page, I've got this one, can't even see that. I've got this one little tuck spot pocket here, and then to hide this glue, I will use dry line adhesive, glue this down, and have a nice big pocket back here. Of course, I could, sew it down the middle here and have 2 big pockets or what have you. But that's essentially what we're making. We're making this fold. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I got an email from a friend saying, that's kind of really an industrial look with those pieces you used yesterday. And it certainly is. That's the kind of paper this was. And so on the one side of my yesterday's flip, I added just some gears and I embossed my tags so you could see it's kind of the steampunky-ish feel for the side of that. And on this side, I went something totally different. I used a little bit of sari and a little bit of lace and then a Tim Holtz flower and then a flower dry embossing, and it gave it a softer feel. If you wanted to, a little more feminine, you could put, or a little more romantical feel, you could put down a bit of lace or glue down lace beforehand, and that would, again, soften it a little bit more. So there's ways to take something that's kind of, industrial or a little bit more masculine, I guess, and turn it into something feminine or turn it into something entirely different altogether. So just a note on that. This pocket can be done, or it's not even really a pocket, it's a flip, can be done a ton of different ways. Again, like I said here, I just took a strip of cardstock, I creased it, I used a scorer and just folded it over and then folded again. Didn't really have anything in mind other than using this particular piece of paper, making it an element in my book. Well, you can fold as many times as you want. This one, where did I put those? Well, I had them somewhere. Here we go. This one, because I kept folding and folding, I've got 1, 2, 3, well, here, let's move that up so you can see it. 3, 4, 5, and the way I was able to make it 5 here is my very first crease or fold, I folded this edge over just a little bit to make a divot, so it will hold this tag or whatever I'm going to put in that pocket right there, and then 6. So with one one piece, you can get, 6 pockets on this, or 6 tuck spots, I guess I should say. And even though I really like that, I just used a scrap of cardstock for this. You can see this is really chunky. So if you were going to make a journal that only has embellishments every few pages, this would be absolutely fine. But if you tend to put more embellishments and things on each page, then you might want to use something other than cardstock, double-sided paper, or even just like we're going to use today, offcuts of your page bases work real well because you're going to get less bulk. So the number of folds you make, obviously, will determine the number of tuck spots you've got. You can cobble together a book page. I didn't pull out the sample, but you can cobble together a book page and do the same thing, and you can get layers of color like I did with the other projects and make as many pockets as you want. One thing that I found, like this one, this is the one, my quote-unquote sample, I had a project in mind. So I thought, I'll give somebody a gift, right? Say this is a card or something. And I want to build them a gift on this using this particular pocket. And maybe I want them to be able to build tags, make some tag making thing. Well, I needed this pocket or this first fold to be the right depth for some stamps, because I wanted to include some postage stamps. So when I started, rather than starting from the back, I started from the front. I needed this to be, I guess that's about an inch. I needed it to be about an inch so I could put these postage stamps in here. And they would go all the way to the back, but you could still see them and take them out. Deep enough to hold them in place, but shallow enough that you could still see what it was. So I made my first crease or fold in this paper at 1 inch because I wanted the depth of this pocket to be 1 inch, okay? So I've got my stamps here. Well, the next piece I wanted to include, I needed it to be a little bit deeper because I thought, some vellum stickers would be great on making tags. And, some Tracy labels and some Tim tickets would be really good. Those are fun things to put on a tag. So I wanted it to be able to fit in here. And then, tags are no good without some hole reinforcers or tiny tags, so you can double and triple layer your tags. And so I wanted it to be able to hold all of these pieces. So I measured this one is about 2 inches, and I knew it would fit what I wanted here. Then my next element was going to be, tags are fun with some scratch paper or specialty paper like that. A guest check or some coffee diet or ledger paper. Whatever, the old Ben-Hur paper, the shorthand paper, the typing book paper. Well, I wanted to be able to tuck these pieces in back here. So I also liked the balance of, with just this, I got some great elements, but I wanted to continue this particular pattern, which was on the back side. So I cut a strip off of it before I even started, and I made a crease, and I glued this just on the back. And I did it this way because, look, I'm able to use cardstock without increasing the amount of thickness. Like here, I've got 5 layers of cardstock right here. But here I have no more than 3 because I have spread out where the folds are and how much card is there. So I'm able to get another pocket. I would glue this down right here on my page. I would glue right here, and then this whole back section. So I've got a little stop. I can put, the items in, and they'll stop right there because there's a built-in stop in the page. But I can still use this piece for another pocket or another tuck spot, and then the tags, the actual tags. Maybe I'll give a bunch of little tags. And because this is glued down right here to my page, I've got yet another little tuck spot, and I can tuck all these pieces in. So that's my thought process. If I had a specific project in mind, I would start with this first dimension. Otherwise, you can just kind of start folding and see where you end up. And this is how you do it. You've got a strip of paper, right? So let's see this particular one. I wanted this pocket to be 1 inch. So I'm going to come into my scoreboard and score it at 1 inch and fold it over. Well, the next pocket I wanted to be 2 inches, but maybe you want it a little deeper. Maybe you want it 2 1/4 inches. So you come in and you score it at the next spot and you fold that over. You don't have to score. You can certainly eyeball and fold. I just find I'm better able to make it straight when I do that. And then, gosh, I don't really need too much space here because it's going to be a more shallow thing. So maybe I want this one to be Well, how about right here? Again, it's not an exact science. You can make it work for you. And, oh, you know what? I didn't do that the way I wanted to do it. I wanted it a little bit shallower. The crease is in the back. You can change where your fold is. Nobody will see it. It's not going to show. So, got it there. And then again, you can see that's probably, I don't do it that way very often because it's not as easy to get it straight. And then I've got it here. And now I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 pockets. Or I can always tuck it at the top. And that's all there is to that project. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.